Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Crafternoon today. My name is Katie. I am the children's librarian at the Clarkston Library, and my very favorite thing to do is craft projects. So we're going to do one together today, and today we are making something called mix and match paper dolls. And I'm going to show you the end result, and then we'll work backwards to get there. So mix and match paper dolls, you start with a paper doll. So in this case, we've got a girl in a t-shirt dress. And then on the sides, I've got a giraffe, and then over here, I've got a robot. And the cool thing about mix and match paper dolls is that you can start with your central image of the girl, but if you fold in this flap, now you've got a girl with a giraffe body and human legs. And if you fold in this one, now you've got a girl with a giraffe body and robot legs. Or you can get a robot with giraffe body and human legs. Or you can... There's a whole lot of different permutations. You can mix and match how you want your drawing to look. Okay, so to start out, we're going to need to gather some supplies. Today, you're going to need a piece of paper. You're going to need some scissors. You don't have to use big ones like I've got. The regular safety scissors work just fine. You need a pencil, and you need something to color with. I've got colored pencils, crayons, and markers will work just as well. If you do use markers, be careful that you're not using something like a Sharpie because it'll bleed through the paper, and then that might affect how your overall look at the end looks. So I would stick with softer markers for that. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do, let's get this camera down here. You're gonna take your piece of paper and you're gonna fold it into thirds. I'm using some scratch paper for this. But if you have paper that's white on both sides, that's much preferred. This is just an example of how to fold. So the way that I like to fold into thirds is I like to flip up one side of the paper, and then I like to flip under the other side of the paper. And I try to match them up pretty closely, and then you hit a crease. Now, a lot of times I will say this is how we practice taking our time. This is where we want lines to match up and look really cool. This project, it doesn't matter so much. You can kind of see that I didn't get exactly a third, but we're not going to worry about that. So when you open it up, you've now got one piece of paper folded into thirds. Okay, then you're going to fold it into thirds the opposite way. And again, you just kind of try and match up your lines and then hit that crease. And when you're done, you will have one piece of paper that has 9 rectangles in it. It's a grid with 9. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we're going to take our scissors, and we're going to be pretty careful with this next step because you're going to cut on this crease. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw a line on my creases. You guys don't need to do this, but I think it's easier for you to see through the video camera if I do it. So I'm going to draw some lines on my creases. We'll just do the whole thing. In keeping with our kind of sloppy, not super precise theme today, the lines are not super precise either. You can see down here, it's not exactly on the fold. But you get the idea, right? You can see the grid with 9. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut right here. We're going to stop when we get to the center column, but we're going to cut the flap on this line right here. And now you can see you've got a flap. You're going to go ahead and cut all 4 of these lines that lead into the center column. It goes like this. And now you've got one central column that's still intact and 3 little flappy things on each side. So the next step is to draw your main doll, your paper doll. And what I drew, again, was a girl in a t-shirt dress. And this is where it's going to be important that you actually did use a piece of paper that's blank on both sides, because we're going to fold in the flap and you want it to be blank. If we did it with my first one and we folded in a flap, you'd see that grid line. So we're gonna fold in our flap. And what you wanna do is use your pencil to make a mark right where the neck comes out, right where you can see where her neck is. And you're gonna do the same thing right where you can see, right where it crosses that center line, that grid line. You wanna make a note of where the pencil marks are. Because when we draw something, we're gonna make sure that when our next drawing crosses that line, the pencil marks match up again. So then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna draw your next picture. I chose to do a giraffe. And again, we're making sure that we match up where it crosses that center line with the marks that we made previously. Because now, when I flip it open, you can see how it matches up. I've got the girl head on the giraffe body. And you'll go ahead and you'll draw your second drawing, and then you'll draw your third drawing, and then you can go ahead and color it in. And your end result is your mix and match paper doll with, I've got a girl with blue hair who now has a giraffe body, who now has a robot body, and a robot head, and giraffe legs. And that's how the mix and match paper dolls work. The last thing that I will say is that when you're coloring in your drawings, if you use similar colors on all three drawings, so you can see I've got orange and pink and blue, and then on my robot, I've also got orange and pink and blue, and on my giraffe, I've got orange and pink and blue. And that'll help when you've got the folded and it's all mix and match, that'll help it still look like it's part of the same thing. So I've got giraffe head, robot body, back to giraffe legs. But because it's all orange and pink and blue, it looks like it fits together. So that is the end of our mix and match paper dolls. There will be a description or a link in the description that gives you step-by-step instructions with some pictures. So if you need to refer to those, they are there for you. I hope you guys had a great time today. I know I really enjoyed making some mix and match paper dolls. And I hope that I see you guys at our next craft program. Bye.